Top-ranked Sabalenka Alcaraz advance on an opening day of records at Australian Open. Melbourne, Australia. Aryna Sabalenka and Carlos Alcaraz fulfilled expectations on opening night of the Australian Open, the number one seeds advancing in straight sets in a Sunday session that started with tennis royalty Rod Laver and Roger Federer in the crowd. Rod Laver Arena was heaving for their first-round matches, capping a day when a record total of 100,763 fans packed into Melbourne Park. The 45-year-old Venus Williams set a record, too, becoming the oldest player ever in the women's singles draw at the Australian Open. Out on John Cain Arena, the so-called People's Court because it's open to fans with ground passes, Williams was up 2 service breaks at 4-0 in the third set before Olga Danilovic rallied to win 6 straight games in a 6-7, 5, 6-3, 6-4 victory. The 7-time major winner, playing on a wild card entry in the singles in just her second major since returning to the tour last year, plans to continue in doubles. "I'm really proud of my effort today because I'm playing better with each match, getting to the places that I want to get to," she said. "Right now I'm just going to have to keep going forward and working on myself." Sabalenka fended off left-handed wild-card entry Tyansoa Rakitamanga Rajana, 6-4, 6-1 after dropping the opening service game. "I didn't start my best. She showed up. Fired on. She was playing great," said Sabalenka, who won the Australian title in 2023 and 24 and was runner-up last year. "It was a tricky start." Sabalenka prepared for the first major of the season with a title in Brisbane but was a little more nervous than usual because Laver, the Australian great, and 20-time major winner Federer were watching. "I'm a huge fan. I wanted to show great tennis so you guys enjoyed watching me play," she said. "There was definitely a lot of pressure. I was walking thinking, don't look there, don't look there." Her next round is against Chinese qualifier Bai Zhuoxuan, who outlasted 2021 French Open runner-up Anastasia Pavlyuchenkova 6-4, 2-6, 7-6, 10, in a 2-hour, 43-minute match. Number 28 Emma Raducanu, who could potentially meet Sabalenka in the third round, beat Maninkaya Sawanki 6-4, 6-1. Day 1 of a scheduled 15 closed with Alcaraz winning 6-3, 7-6, 2, 6-2 over Adam Walton, beginning his bid to set a record for being the youngest player to complete a career Grand Slam. Alexander Zverev, runner-up here last year to Jannik Sinner, shrugged off a sluggish start to beat Gabriel Diallo 6-7, 7, 6-1, 6-4, 6-2 to reach the second round at Melbourne Park for the 10th straight year. "Definitely, when I saw the draw, wasn't too happy to be honest," Zverev said of the tricky challenge presented by number 41 ranked Diallo. "He's very young, very talented. Unbelievably aggressive." Number 10 Alexander Bublik advanced over Jenson Brooksby 6-4, 6-4, 6-4. Number 29 Francis Tiafoe overpowered Jason Kubler 7-6, 4, 6-3, 6-2, and Michael Zheng fended off Sebastian Korda 6-4, 6-4, 3-6, 6-7, 0, 6-3 in an All-American first-rounder. Zheng, a college star at Columbia who advanced through qualifying to make his tour-level debut, will next face number 32 Corentin Moutet, who was booed after his underarm serve on match point in a 6-4, 7-6, 1, 6-3 win over Tristan Schoolkate. 2 of the women's seeds went out in the opening afternoon, with Elsa Jakmat ousting number 20 Marta Kostuk 6-7, 4, 7-6, 4, 7-6, 7, and Turkish qualifier Zeynep Sönmez upsetting number 11 Ekaterina Alexandrova 7-5, 4-6, 6-4. Sönmez halted her match briefly in the second set to help a ball kid who appeared to be struggling in the heat before the tournament medical team took over. 7-seeded Jasmine Paolini, number 12 Alina Svitolina and Maria Sakkari all advanced in straight sets. Former Wimbledon champion Marketa Vondrousova withdrew because of a shoulder injury before her scheduled first-round match, giving a place in the main draw to Taylor Townsend, the lucky loser from qualifying, to take on Hailey Baptiste. In a 2.5-hour All-American contest on court 13, Baptiste prevailed 6-3, 6-7, 3, 6-3. A grand opening. Sabalenka, Alcaraz and the records that defined Day 1 at the Australian Open. Tennis is a game of margins, fractions of millimeters that split lines, slivers of timing that turn winners into errors, passing moments that carve legacies. Some days, the tennis world merely turns a page on the calendar. Other days, it writes a chapter that feels like history being lived in real time. The opening day of the 2026 Australian Open was one such moment, a thrilling collision of expectation, performance, passion, and spectacle at Melbourne Park. Under the blazing Australian sun and inside the iconic Rod Laver Arena, two of the sport's current greatest champions, Aryna Sabalenka and Carlos Alcaraz, advanced in dominating fashion. Their victories were not just routine first-round wins. They served as thematic bookends to a day that would leave its fingerprints on the record books. A record-packed opening day. Row upon row of seats were filled. A crowd of 100,763 spectators, the largest ever to open a Grand Slam in Australia, streamed into Melbourne Park, their buzz a blend of revelry and resting anticipation. Conversations buzzed about old champions and rising stars, about whether Sabalenka could cement a third crown, and whether Alcaraz might finally capture the only major still missing from his glittering resume. This was not just round one, it was a celebration of tennis vitality. Legends like Rod Laver and Roger Federer were in attendance, their presence a reminder of the sport's enduring lineage. It was that rare day where the echoes of past glory met the pulse of present ambition. In a sport accustomed to iconic starts, from televised center-court dramas to glorious tie-break battles, this opening day managed to feel both timeless and brand new. Sabalenka, power, poise, and reclamation. Aryna Sabalenka, the Belarusian powerhouse and one of tennis's most fearsome competitors, began her Australian Open title defense with authority, but not without a slice of narrative intrigue. Facing French wild card Tyansoa Rakitamanga Rajana, Sabalenka's start was patchy. She lost her opening service game, a rare misstep that hinted at undercurrents of tension. After all, Sabalenka is no stranger to spectacular play, but also no stranger to nerves when expectations and history weigh heavy. Yet once she found her rhythm, she dominated. A 6-4, 6-1 victory showcased her brutal baseline power and depth of shot-making. Her path forward was assured, her intensity sharpened, and her confidence bolstered by a crowd energized by every booming forehand. For Sabalenka, this match was more than a routine win. It was a reaffirmation that she belongs at the pinnacle of the women's game, that the pressure of defending a title, especially one she has hoisted multiple times, only sharpens her competitive edge. Her next opponent, Chinese qualifier Bai Zhuoxuan, emerged from a marathon three-set battle earlier in the day, suggesting Sabalenka's journey, even in a seemingly routine opening match, will demand cohesion and fire from the outset. Alcaraz, the young lion, begins his pursuit. Late on Rod Laver Arena, under the watchful eyes of a packed crowd straining toward history, Carlos Alcaraz stepped onto the court with a familiar sense of ambition and a fresh chapter in his career unfolding. Across the net stood Australian hopeful Adam Walton, a home favorite given the prime late-session slot. But from the first rally,